welcome back. In this video you will learn about flow states and how you can encourage flow states in the classroom. Most, if not all of you, will have experienced the flow state before. I have enjoyed many activities and pursuits that have taken me into a state of flow. As athletes would call it, being in the zone. During my sporting days at school and as a semi-pro footballer, there were many times when I experienced being in the zone, or a state of flow. Also as a classroom teacher, I experienced flow states on a daily basis. Lessons would seem to fly by and I'd have a very high level of focus. Although the idea of flow has been around for thousands of years, flow theory began in the 70s and 80s, when Hungarian psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi became fascinated by artists who would get so transfixed by their work they would actually lose track of time and forget to eat or drink. In his book Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Performance, he states, "The flow experience is when a person is fully, completely involved in what he or she is doing, when the concentration is very high, when the person knows moment by moment what the next step should be. Like if you are playing tennis, you know where you want the ball to go, and if you are playing a musical instrument, you know what notes you want to make and play every millisecond. And you get feedback to what you're doing. That is, if you're playing music, you can hear whether what you are trying to do is coming out right. Or in tennis, you see where the ball needs to go, and so on." As I mentioned earlier, I experienced flow states a lot in the classroom. I noticed the groups I taught would often get totally absorbed in the work and get into these sort of peak states. These lessons were usually practical lessons, where students were 100% engaged with what they were doing. In these moments, I would take a step back from my class and observe the magic happening in front of me. These were great moments for me as a teacher. I was like the conductor of an orchestra, and in these moments the students were playing a beautiful symphony. So how can we attain the state of flow in the classroom? What kind of environment or activities should students be involved with so they do not want to stop working? Okay, number one, provide the right scaffolding. The challenge has to match your students' perceived ability level. If it seems to be difficult, kids give up. If the task is too easy, then they become bored. So when scaffolding or differentiating work, give students the options to choose their scaffold or level of work, guiding them to choose the level of support they need for their capabilities. In this way, you can keep them on the fine edge, stretching their comfort zone and keeping them fully absorbed by the activities. Number two, tap into intrinsic motivation. Students will frequently get into a state of flow when they have chosen the activity or taken ownership of the way a project is done. For teachers, this can be a challenge, as it's about creating conditions where students want to learn rather than have to learn. This means shifting towards student-centred projects in which they are intrinsically motivated. Number three, allow students to own the task and set their goals. Wherever possible, give students choice and agency. Get them to choose the topics, projects and tasks. You can guide their thinking and design outcomes that match what the students need to learn with what they want to learn. This may take a little extra planning, however, when you start you will see the levels of engagement increase. In essence, we want the students to own their learning. Number four, minimise distractions. As my teaching practice developed, I was able to make a less is more approach. I started to minimise my teacher talk and interventions as much as possible. This enables the students to be engaged with the work and allow time for them to get into the flow of the activities. I also made sure that students had fun, felt safe and relaxed. This made it easier for them to focus on the process whilst working towards their well-defined goals. Number five, help students monitor their progress. The feedback they receive must ideally be immediate. so they're able to respond straight away and change what they are doing. Teach the students how to do self-assessments so they can evaluate their strengths and weaknesses. They need to be able to reflect on what's going well and what's not going on so well, so they can adjust their strategies. Set work that can be self or peer assessed, or assessed by you immediately. Remember, fast feedback is motivational. These flow states can be achieved in the classroom. However, to make them more frequent for our students, we need to create a climate where students are creative, empowered, aware and challenged. Remember, you are the architect of your environment. You can design structures to engage students to new levels where they are fully empowered to own their own learning. Okay, that's it for this one. You'll see me in the next.